everybody, welcome back to this week's edition of Be Sharp Teachers TV. You're going to get a little zap of Wynn today. This is the place that you want to be if you're a teacher who desires to be whole and happy in the classroom and in your life, because we are here to support you in that endeavor. Today on your episode of Be Sharp Teachers TV, what I'm going to share with you are 4 tips, 4 things that I do when I am traveling that have helped me to really enjoy the experience of traveling more often. You know that I travel all year long, so for me, being home over the holidays is a true joy. But for you, you may be excited about leaving the area where your classroom is and getting on an airplane and going somewhere traveling in any manner, whether it's on the plane, a train, planes, trains, and automobiles, there you go, or on the bus. But so these tips for you today, there's just 4 of them. I just want to share with you some things that make traveling a little bit more fun and enjoyable for me, and I hope that they will do something for you as you're going out for the holidays. Tip number 1 is this. Whatever bags you take, I always put a toothbrush, toothpaste, dental floss, and then whatever little thing it is that you like at your nightstand. For me, it's chapstick. Every night before I go to bed, I just put that stuff on my lips. So when I travel, I like to be sure that every bag I take, my big bag, my overnight bag, my book bag, everything has a toothbrush, a small tube of toothpaste, dental floss, and a tube of chapstick in it. That way, whenever I'm packing, when I grab the bag, I know that those necessities are things I don't even need to think about. So in the morning when you're trying to get to the airport in a hurry, I don't worry about brushing my teeth and then throwing that stuff in the bag. I already know they're in the bag. So yes, I do own about 5 toothbrushes, 5 tubes of toothpaste, and 5 or 6 tubes of chapstick. Oh, and 5 or 6, little packets of dental floss as well. I just throw them in those bags, and then I never think about packing that sort of stuff again. It's also great, and I pray this doesn't happen to you, but let's say that your luggage gets lost, the stuff that you had to check, in case you had a big old case you had to check because you're anticipating bringing back with you loads of Christmas gifts and that sort of thing, or maybe you're just taking loads of gifts to others. Those bags that got checked, maybe they got lost, and I hope not, but you will never be without your toothbrush, your chapstick, your dental floss, and your toothpaste when you need it the most. And I'm telling you, if you happen to get stranded in the airport with bad weather or a bus station with bad weather, nothing says pick me up more than good dental hygiene. So keep this stuff in every bag that you own, so you always have it at the ready. You're never in dental yuck land. Tip number 2 is this. When you go into your hotel room, all those little bottles that they give you of the shampoos, conditioners, shoe shiners, mouthwash, bath gels, and that sort of stuff, just go ahead and take them all. Even the things that you don't use. Particularly the ones that you don't use, I should say, because when you come home, what's a wonderful thing to do is when you have guests come to your home, to be able to set out for them towel and a washcloth, and then their own personal shampoo and conditioner in the little mini sizes that they can use while they're at your house. It really gives them that sort of ooh la la feeling even when they've just come to visit in your home. The other thing is that you can take those the little trial size and samples, toss them in your kids' Christmas stockings. They're great stocking stuffers and fillers. Give them to a local church or organization in your community that happens to be packaging boxes either for less fortunate folks overseas or perhaps for our own military folks. They're the great size to send overseas for military service personnel. So think about grabbing up the things you don't use and just bringing them home with you to give them away to others. The third thing I want to share with you as far as a travel tip that really works for me is if you happen to have anything, let's say that you are traveling, maybe you've made a special poster or some sort of a scrapbook, anything that could be harmed when it gets wet. Perhaps it's just gift wrapped, gifts that you have that are gift wrapped, and you don't want the paper to get all soggy if they're wet. Well, you're thinking to yourself, I'm packing these in my checked baggage. They're not going to get wet. But that's not true. Here's the thing, particularly if you have a cloth suitcase, and lots of us have cloth suitcases. When it rains, sometimes your bags just sit out there on that cart on the tarmac, or they're sitting there as they're trying to chunk them into the plane. But if you're in a heavy downpour, your stuff really gets wet, and sometimes will get so wet that it comes through the cloth of your suitcase, and it will ruin anything that you have in there. If you have a poster, a Merry Christmas poster that your kids made that you want to take to grandma's house, just put all that stuff inside a plastic bag inside of your luggage, whether it's carry-on or checked baggage. Plastic wrap it first, then put it into your bags if it's anything that can run or ruin in water, because it does happen. I have lived that one, thank you. The fourth thing I'm going to tell you is this: if you happen to be flying, get yourself a pair of those socks with the little plastic balls on the bottoms of them, kind of like, you can get them especially around Christmas time. They're real warm, knitted socks, but so that you don't slip, they have the little plastic treads or the little rubber treads on the bottom. Get a pair of those and throw them into your book bag or your pocketbook or whatever it is that you carry on the airplane with you. Because remember, going up into the sky in the winter time, in any time, it can get cold, but in the winter especially, it gets really cold. So if you happen to have on your fancy shoes, or you just have on your tennis shoes, heck, I do this all the time with my tennis shoes. I just take my shoes off and put on those really good thick socks with the little plastic stuff on the bottom of them, the little rubber skidders, and it keeps my feet very, very warm. Now, I will tell you that I do not wear those socks if I'm going to get up and go to the restroom on the airplane, because I don't want anything from the restroom floor to then be rolled up in my socks and thrown in my pocketbook or in my book bag. I just don't want that. But for while I'm being seated, I do like to have those comfortable socks on for a while. So there's 4 things I do while I'm traveling that make my experience much nicer, and I hope that they will help you if you are doing some holiday traveling. Enjoy. Most of all, just keep a great attitude and a happy outlook, because the only thing you have is that present moment you're in. So for each one of those moments, it can either be a great moment or a terrible moment. It depends on how you react to the circumstances. I pray that all your travels are safe and that they're timely and that you have no crazy delays. But if you do, just, take it as a moment to do some people watching, grab a hot beverage of your favorite choice, and just watch the weather outside, or get on Skype, hit the internet, cell phone with your family, whatever it takes. But just keep looking up, because there's always something to learn and to take in those moments, even when the travel's not going that great from the outside perspective. May your inside perspective always be wonderful. Have a great holiday season, and I will see you next Sunday for another Zap of Wynn. Bye now.